High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello again and welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. We know you like high school hoops, so do we, and we have a full plate for you again tonight. Highlights from around the area, plus I'll spotlight one of the state line's top point guards, Rockford Lutheran's Michaela Huffine.
And I'll be joined by Sycamore girls coach Adam Wickness. His team is undefeated. Plus a local coach reaches a major milestone, and we'll have our flashback and our play of the week. So right now, though, let's get rolling with those highlights. The last 6 seasons, Boylan or East have won the Nick 10 championship. Boylan shared it one of those years with Jefferson.
Yeah, Boylan and East had hopes of winning another title this year, but the pressure, it's on both teams to keep up with Auburn, so the tensions were high for both of them tonight. They met at East. The Titans and E-Rabs also played each other back in early December. Boylan won that one by 3, but it was East getting a 3 from Latrell Kyles to start the third quarter. Now it's Matthew Horde off the pass from Jameer Jefferson, spots up and connects. Let's go to the fourth now, tight ball game. Great give and go here from Nolan Bronze to Noah Harkness. Back to Bronze for a wide open layup. Now the E-Rabs, they're gonna show some ball movement here. Bounce pass finds Nashon Hardaway down low for 2. And at the other end, Tristan Ford drives, just a beautiful up and under. Gets the roll, Boylan pulls within 1. They get it back, and who else but Ford drives, draws contact, lays it up with the left, gets the front end of the and one to give the Titans the lead. Free throws made it a 3-point game now. Last chance for East to tie it up. The full court heave, 3, 2, and at the buzzer, Latrell Kyles is rejected by Tyler Hood. Boylan hangs on for another 3-point win over East, 50-47. Head coach Brett McAllister said he's proud of his seniors in this one.
Yeah, I was proud of our guys because the first half it wasn't a good performance for us. And to continue to battle, it seemed like we were down 1 possession the whole night until the fourth quarter, and our guys just found a way.
Just talk about the resiliency of your guys, just this team, the fight you guys have had this whole season.
I think it's special because, you know, we lose Wednesday, and to come back on their floor and do this speaks to our senior leadership and the resiliency of the group.
Well, Auburn now with the first place Knights hosted Harlem. Mike Jones once again did not play, but he was on the floor for warm-ups in this one. He will likely be back in action next week. Taking Jones' place inside was William Glass. Here he is receiving the Rob Cheney dish and scoring it. Cheney going to cut down the lane on this next play. Gets himself a bucket. Adrian Angie next on the move. Nails the jumper. The Knights just keep bringing in talent off the bench. Calvin Miller making the most of his minutes. Cans 3. And then Rob Cheney's going to knock down another triple. The Knights jumped out to a 17-0 lead, but Harlem came storming back to make it a game, but Auburn hung on to win it 58-55.
Oof, bit of a sweat there at the Castle. Next to Hononegah for the Jayhawks and the Indians. Slow start to this one, but it picked up late in the first quarter. Josiah Williams going to pull up and drain it from the paint. Williams now a little later fighting for it, gets it to Nigel Posey. Finds Randy Johnson inside, and he lays it up and in. Indians would respond on the other end. Good ball movement. Outside finds Dominic Camiso. Inside, and the slam. Keep an eye on this one now. Cole Warren looking like he's shooting 3, but it finds Camiso for the alley-oop. The big man putting it down. It was 8-6 Indians at that point. Hononegah knocks off the Jayhawks 60-45.
On the north side of Belvedere, the Blue Thunder hosted Freeport. Third quarter, long ball from Freeport fails, but Diedrich Macon was right there to get it to go. Call it a battle number 5. Ethan Andre walking around the arc here. Going to take the shot and drain the 3 ball. The Blue Thunder up by 11, 44-33. Missed free throw for the Pretzels. Javon Ferguson able to grab the rebound and get it back. Freeport again, some pretty good passing here. Ends up in the hands of Aaron Delavan, who drops in 3. More good ball movement coming up, this time from north. Evan Horgan finishes off down low, but Freeport responds. Coming up with the loose ball, the kick out. Caleb Dixon drills it from downtown. It was a back and forth game, answer for answer. Andre going to drop in 3 more for the Blue Thunder. There he is. He scored 26 points. Belvedere North defeated Freeport 62-47.
Have a night, Ethan Andre. Guilford and Belvedere had tonight off. So here are the updated Nick 10 standings. For the boys, Auburn still leading the pack at 12-0. Guilford in second at 10-2. East right behind at 9-2. Boylan's 8-3, and Hononegah now 7-5. We'll keep the channel where it's at. We're just getting started tonight. Coming up later, our feature story on Lutheran's Michaela Huffine, plus Nick 10 girls highlights from Boylan and Harlem, and a powerhouse battle in DeKalb.
And we've also got boys action between Byron and Stillman Valley. But up next, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the undefeated Sycamore Lady Spartans, Adam Wickness. You're watching Overtime. The list of undefeated basketball teams in our area is a very short one. It begins and ends with the Sycamore girls. They are 23-0 and rapidly closing in on the school record of 27 wins in a season. Earlier, I spoke with Spartans head coach Adam Wickness.
How important is it to this team to try to set a school record for victories, and how important is it to finish the season undefeated?
We've been really good about taking it one game at a time. From day one, that's kind of been, we have some big ambitious goals as a team for what we want to do in terms of the whole season. But honestly, I know that I can't lie to you and tell you that people aren't thinking about running the table, but we know that we try to take it the one game at a time approach. And I think that that's been really beneficial for us so far. I think that that's helped kind of enjoy the process and enjoy the ride a little bit more. Cause I think that when you compartmentalize it and try to go one game at a time, it really makes it so that you're not putting anything, you're not looking too far down the road where you can't, maybe you show up and you don't play very well one night and then all of a sudden it goes all out the window. But we've still got some tough matchups before the season's over, and we did that intentionally so that we were battle tested when we go into the playoffs.
Aside from the talent on your team, which we'll talk about here shortly, but what else is it that makes your team so successful? What's the formula there that works so well?
I think it's our team chemistry. Honestly, from day one, we've all been rowing the boat the same direction, to borrow from PJ Fleck there for a moment. But it's one of those things where when we sat down and had our goals meeting at the beginning of the season, it was consistent and the message was pretty standard from every player of what they wanted to accomplish. And so then we talked about how we could get there. And I think that, the element of fun is always present around this group, whether it's pregame TikToks or we have a little tradition at our home games that we do the Cotton Eye Joe dance in the locker room before we go out and get ready to play. And it just kind of clears all the anxiety and all the worry out of your head before you go out in front of what should be a pretty big crowd.
I want to talk about a few of your players here. Let's start with Faith Feuerbach. She is a sophomore 2 years ago, was a huge part of that great team that you had, and she's doing it again. Talk about her growth and what she brings to the mix there. Yeah,
Faith, when it's easy to just kind of put a label on Faith as, oh, she's just a shooter, but she's really so much more. She's probably the best defender on our team. She gets after it with her length. She's always willing to take a challenge, and she works hard. I mean, she goes after practice every single day and she shoots 500 shots, and she'll stay down in the field house for an hour after we're done shooting. And that's a testament to her work ethic and what she wants to accomplish, not just individually, but what she wants this team to accomplish as well too, because she's total team first kid. Just really every time that I talk to a college coach about her, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth is she's extremely coachable. She is wonderful. She's always team first, and she's super positive.
You have another player I know college scouts are interested in the post, 6'4", Evan Carrier. Again, I was impressed with her a couple years ago on varsity, and I saw her against Bolingbrook this year, and she was terrific. Talk about the development that she's made in her game.
Yeah, Evan's great. She's a big with really good touch around the rim. She can step out and hit the three if she needs to. And, she wants to win. She wants to win badly. And she's kind of adopted a mantra of whatever it takes to win, and whatever it takes for our team to be successful. And she's going to go out and try to do it. So I'm really pleased with the maturity and the growth that she's shown, not just in her game, but off the court as well. She's really stepped it up, and she's a lot of fun to be around. I mean, she's got a big personality, so she always keeps things interesting.
Love your sophomore point guard too, Lexi Carlson. She's got great handles. And then you've got another senior, Ella Shipley, who really catches my eye because she seems to be one of those players who does the things that don't always show up in the box score. She just looks like a girl who loves to compete. Am I reading her right?
You are reading her 100% right. She is a competitor through and through. we talked, we kind of sat down a couple of games ago. She was beating herself up because she didn't feel like she played her best. And I said, hey, I want you to tell me what your best is. And so then we went through and we defined it. We're best when she's facilitating our offense, when she's kind of making plays and drawing help, because she's really good at getting into the paint. And then she's really starting to understand that when she gets in the paint, she's probably going to be doubled and kicking it out to find the open person, usually either Faith or Lexi, or even Reese Hill stepped up really in the last couple games as well and is shooting the ball really well from outside.
You've been coaching there several years, and as I mentioned at the top of this interview, it's like 8 out of 9 years the program there has won 20 or more games at the varsity level. So what's the key to that sustained success that you have going there at Sycamore?
Yeah, well, I have to give props to the people that came before me, because they're the ones that got the ball rolling. So Brett Goff really set the tone for the success of this program, and Ryan Piccolotti started our feeder program, and that got a lot of girls interested in playing basketball. We talk about all the time with our older kids how they're ambassadors to the younger generation, the next wave of Spartans, if you will. They're very prominent at the Fieldhouse League. We have a Fieldhouse League that runs every Saturday, and they get out there and they ref the games, and they're high-fiving them, and they're interacting with the little kids. And, we do little things like poster night, autograph night. We honor our feeder program and have a feeder program night. And those are all things that kind of help keep that ball rolling and keeping the interest level high for girls in Sycamore playing basketball.
Now, the Spartans do have 2 strong opponents coming up on their schedule, Palatine Frem and Geneva. Geneva lost to Sycamore by only a point in their first game right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the Spartans, they are real tough. I got to look at them tonight in DeKalb. Those highlights coming up next, and we'll see a local coach who reached a major milestone.
But right now, we want to send our condolences to the folks at Freeport AQUIN. Last night in Stockton, while the AQUIN girls were playing, AQUIN assistant coach Adam Holder had a medical emergency and he passed away. The AQUIN School District released a statement stating that Holder was, quote, a longtime and treasured member of the AQUIN community. He was a coach, a father, a role model, and a cornerstone of our AQUIN family. Classes were canceled at AQUIN today. Again, our condolences to everyone at AQUIN. Welcome back to Overtime. We just learned a whole lot about the undefeated Sycamore girls basketball team in our last segment.
Yeah, let's give you a better idea of what those Spartans are all about. They were in action tonight against DeKalb. When these rivals meet, they make it a big deal and play at NIU's Convocation Center. Big crowd on hand. Start with the Barbs. Natalie Rosenau pulls up from the elbow and hits. At the other end of the floor, Monroe McGee dishes it to Faith Fierbach, and she knocks it down from the wing. Now for the Spartans, Ella Shipley drives, floats it up, and uses the glass to her advantage. Then it's Fierbach again, similar idea, driving right, gets the finger roll to go. Fierbach's quite the talent. It's tipped out to her behind the arc, and once again, she is good from long range. Sycamore improves its record at 23-0 by defeating DeKalb 56-51.
Let's check out Nick 10 girls action. East taking on Boylan, and we'll get to that man in just a moment. Elena Petalber going to get the trifecta for the Lady Titans. And she will repeat that from the other side of the court. Petalber scoring 11 points in this one. Olivia Harderneck's going to splash in 3 of her 11 points. East will kick it out. Inside, outside. Olivia Irvin, she's got range and she's got a bucket. The Lady Titans defeated East 74-20, but the bigger story, this was the 500th career win for Boylan coach Paul Peroni. And according to the IHSA website, he is the 29th winningest girls basketball coach all time in Illinois. Peroni got a bunch of wins at Harlem, now a bunch at Boylan. A special night.
It's really nice to win it on my home court, to get 500. Started playing basketball for Boylan back in 1966. Now that's a long time ago, and so to win it on the court that I played on was kind of special.
How does Paul Peroni celebrate this milestone tonight?
Hey, the team and I are going over to the backyard to have some wings, I guess. The girls got wings, but they let me pick the warm-up music tonight, so I was able to pick up some songs from the 1950s because I don't understand the words that they play. So I thank them for giving me that opportunity.
That is so cool.
That is great.
Another Nick 10 girls game had Auburn taking on Harlem. Julie Bailey, Maya Udell. Yep, that's 3 for Maya. Auburn trying to respond. Olivia Brown going to find Gabriella Longstreet. I saw her hit a few of these earlier this week. She can do that. Harlem comes right back. Maya Davidson getting it inside. The underhand flip is through the hoop. Lady Knights come back the other direction. Tamaya Sago looking for Brooklyn Gray. Gonna pull up and get it to fall. Gray scored 15. Auburn again with it. Sago to Longstreet. There she is again with that three ball. Auburn defeated Harlem big 62-30. Also in Nick 10 girls action, Hononegah defeated Jefferson 63-32. Belvedere North defeated Freeport 56-35.
Well, it's always competitive when Byron and Stillman Valley get together. No matter what the sport, their boys teams went at it tonight in Stillman. Both sides with great turnouts. End of the first half, Evan Davidson gets it. The shot fake, the drive, and the lay-in. At the other end, some great ball handling from Isaiah Gooden through the paint and a nice lefty floater. Go to the second half, Davidson, drive, and a kick to Owen Dunseth. His three is pure. Now for Byron, Gooden with a heads-up play, draws the defender in, then kicks it to Max Connell for the easy bucket. Stillman kept fighting though. Davidson, another great find behind the arc to Griffin Britnell. The three ball is up and good. This one went down to the wire, but it was the Tigers who held on for the 45-40 win.
Let's take another break. We have an amazing play of the week coming up in a bit.
But when we return, it's our Spotlight segment on Lutheran's Michaela Huffine. And that's next, right here on Overtime. If you were to arrange a dinner with a list of Lutheran's best girls basketball guards in program history, senior Michaela Huffine would be deserving of a seat at the table. We feature her this week in our Spotlight segment. From a very young age, Michaela Huffine was destined to be a point guard. Her father recognized at a very early age her ability to handle the rock.
He always tells me a story. He was at the Y, he always played basketball, and I was just at the side chilling, and I was just dribbling the ball. I had never touched the ball before, and he was playing, and he saw that, and he was like, Michaela, go dribble all the way down the court and come back with your right and left hand, and I didn't lose the ball at all. So from then on, he was like, you have a gift. So he always pushed me.
It was a sport the two bonded over, and as one of her coaches all her life, he nurtured that love of the game in her.
He's like my biggest inspiration with basketball. He's the one who brought it to me. He came up with the name Baby Buckets for me because I would average 25 a game. Nobody could stop me, but I had no experience with basketball. It was just in me naturally.
When the time came for Michaela to play in high school, Lutheran's longtime girls basketball coach, Joni Carlson, noticed that drive.
As a freshman, I was like, she's small, but she's feisty. She'd been around the game. I could see her passion and her love for the game was there, and her willingness to learn and get better and grow. The sky was the limit, and she'd put the time in.
And that's just what she did. Over the last 4 years, Michaela developed her game and has become a star. In a game earlier this season, she joined an elite club of Lutheran greats when she scored her 1,000th career point.
It's definitely one of my biggest accomplishments. It put confidence in myself because I do struggle with feeling like I'm not good enough. So knowing that I am a good player and just having confidence in myself is really, it just built it, you know what I mean?
As her coach, Carlson has seen that growth both on the court as well as off of it. And that has built an unbreakable bond between the two.
It's more than just a coach. She's like family to me. So with the whole recruiting process with college, I always think I want to have a coach like Joni because we're so close and it's more than just basketball.
Not trying to get choked up, but yeah, she's a tough player. I would like to say I build relationships with all my kids, all my players through the program, but she definitely has got a special place in my heart.
For Michaela, she realizes the end of her chapter at Lutheran is nearing and is doing her best to soak it all in.
Every game after game, I'm like, or even after practice sometimes, I'm like, I have to treat it like it's my last because it's coming to an end. And then I know senior night's coming up and stuff, and it's I only have a month left, so it's sad.
Huffine will continue to develop her game at the next level, but she'll never truly be too far from her high school coach.
It's just one of those lifetime friendships that hopefully we'll always maintain and, coach-player relationship because she knows that's always first with me, relationships first, business second, and that's her legacy, that she'll always have a special place in my heart and in this school.
Well, Michaela was great to talk to. She sure has a bright future ahead wherever she decides to pick to go to college. Plus that senior night matchup with Winnebago should Be a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see her and Mia Brown kind of going head-to-head. Baby buckets. We're going to have to start calling them that.
We have to.
We'll be right back after this final break.
We'll wrap up this episode of Overtime with our Play of the Week.
A couple of weeks ago, we did a spotlight story on Eastland's Kellen Hensey, and we said he was probably the best player in the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference. Well, he proved it again Monday night. Look at what he did here. Eastland and Lena Winslow tied at 41. Final seconds, ticking off the clock. Hensey with a ball, gonna drive the lane, throws up a shot while falling. It doesn't go, but from his knees, he grabs the ball and throws it in just before the final buzzer. Absolutely incredible with that. Eastland won the game 43-41. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I mean, when I interviewed him, he told me he had never hit a buzzer beater in his high school career. Kellen Hensey, you now have one in a great fashion. Look at that.
He was flat on his stomach there for a second when that ball was coming back to him. It's kind of like a game of horse. He's like, yeah, I think I can make it from my knees here, but unbelievable. All right, a reminder, you can catch Overtime right here every Friday night through the end of the season. We can't promise a play of the week that good, but live at 11 o'clock, Fridays, Fox 39. We rebroadcast each show Sunday mornings at 9 on Fox 39.
And remember, for highlights and scores anytime, you can always go to our website, mystateline.com. Well, that's it for this show. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next Friday.
Enjoy your weekend.